The experiment you'll be taking part in today involves the perception of lengths of lines. As you can see here, I have a number of cards, and on each card there are several lines. Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the line on the left and determine which of the three lines on the right is equal to it in length. All right, we'll proceed in this order. You'll give your answer.
Only one of the people in the group is a real subject, the fifth person with the white t-shirt. The others are confederates of the experimenter and have been told to give wrong answers on some of the trials. The experiment begins uneventfully as subjects give their judgments.
2.
2.
2.
2.
2. 3.
3.
3.
3.
But on the third trial, something happens.
2. 2.
2.
2. 2.
The subject denies the evidence of his own eyes and yields to group influence.
A.
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 All right, and the correct answer is C.
Oh.
Ooh.
Now, why did you guys think it was A?
I just followed the leader on that one.
Psychologist Solomon Asch studied the effects of group pressures on conformity, finding people often conform to social pressures to gain approval and avoid rejections.
For our project, we wanted to see whether people would change initial attractions to conform to a group norm.
Conformity is the matching of attitudes, behaviors, and beliefs to a group standard. Conformity is the result of normative social influences, which pressure people to conform in order to gain approval or avoid rejection. Interpersonal attraction is the force between two people, bringing them together to form friendships. This is influenced by factors such as proximity, physical attractiveness, and similarity.
Identity versus role confusion is one of the developmental stages of Erik Erikson's psychosocial development. In this stage, teenagers attempt to discover who they are. Often, if they have not yet figured out their identity, this can cause conformity.
The looking glass self theory also deals with how we form our identity. Essentially, this theory states we form our identities based off of how our peers see ourselves.
The experiment that we conducted focuses on the implication of conformity within an adolescent environment. The uniqueness of high school is a place with people in critical stages of identity versus role confusion and the formation of interpersonal relationships make the incorporation of attraction as a means to test conformity even more relevant. In testing how personal opinions might be swayed by social pressure, a survey for establishing the personal opinions of the participants gave insight into individual attraction in the absence of normative social influence, seeing that participants were asked to complete the survey alone without discussing their responses with any other peers. After recording their individual attractions, participants in randomly selected groups of 6 were asked to move into a separate area to complete the group experiment, which was designed to add social pressure by having participants answer similar questions to that of the survey by moving to different corners of the room that represented a different response to the posed questions.
analyzed our data by the categories from our survey, separating responses by wealth, extroversion, education, humor, views, trustworthiness, and proximity.
Regarding the importance of intelligence, we found that minority responses, which are the survey responses that deviated from popular group opinion, later changed during the experiment portion by conforming to the model responses of the majority group. The percentage rate at which all outlier responses shifted during the group experiment was 50% or higher over all 4 trials. This trend of minority opinions conforming to the group continues in significant degrees across other tested factors of attraction, including wealth, proximity, political views, extroversion, and humor.
In order to gain perspective on our research, we reached out to several people to discuss conformity. One of these people was Miss Spooner. Through her work with PALS, she sees conformity in freshmen, something we noticed a lot in our experiment.
I think the freshmen repeatedly seek out the familiar more than almost anything else, and I think depending on how outside the norm they feel, whether it's outside whiteness or outside middle class or upper middle classness, that sort of creates the degree to which they're absolutely seeking sameness in their relationships.
We were also able to contact a social worker, Gloria McAdoo, PhD. Though her work is with people who have a history of abuse, her expertise still had considerable crossover with our project.
I used to work with kids in gangs. They became involved with the gangs because they wanted a family. And people at that particular time informed them that they would be their family. And so they felt the need to do whatever the gang told them to do so they could fit in.
Though our 2 experts work in different contexts, they told us essentially the same thing. People conform to feel safe.
The results from our experiment do show that in a group setting, people are likely to conform to a group norm, rather than sticking to their initial convictions, much like the experiments we saw previously.
However, it is important to note that this finding is not universal. This means that in group situations, not everyone will always conform to a group norm.
Hey.
C. Correct answer is C.
Yeah. What? You guys are dumb.